Cuff, and he is representing for us before the Lord, but he's also a part of the church that's right next door to us, who were so kind to allow us as well to use this plot of land. So Elder Lockett Cuff, we invite you now to come with prayer.
Recognizing that God should be central to all our activities, I now invite you to stand, with heads bowed in an act of reverence as we recognize His presence. Our Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for the gift of life and waking up privilege this morning. We thank you also for the gift of water that was commissioned from the very foundation of the earth. And we thank you for the vision and the effort that have been put together that enable us to be here for this groundbreaking ceremony today. We pray your blessing on this work, that it will soon bring clean, life-sustaining water to our community. We pray that you will guide the workers and the engineers. You will keep them safe. You will give them wisdom as they lay each pipe and prepare each trench. Bless the leaders and everyone involved in this project with unity, goodwill, and perseverance. May this pipeline be more than just pipes in the ground. Let it be a source of health, dignity, and hope for every home it reaches. Help us to steward this water well and use it to serve one another and thereby honoring your name. We dedicate to you the ground upon which these pipes will be laid. May this project be completed in a timely, cost-efficient manner and begin to bless the community and the generations to come. And now, sovereign God, we pray that heavenly benediction will be upon this ceremony today, and may everything that is said or done meet your divine approbation. For we ask these special favors in Jesus' name. Amen.
Thank you, Elder. And now I'll just do the quick salutations. Honorable Matthew Samuda, Minister of Water, Environment and Climate Change. Salutation also for Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth Northeastern, Ms. Zulika Jess. I'm advised she's on her way. His Worship the Mayor for Black River, Mr. Richard Solomon. Councillor for the Santa Cruz Division, Mr. Christopher Williams. I also see in attendance Mr. Jermaine Jackson, Regional Manager for Manchester, and of course this plot of ground in St. Elizabeth, and with him as colleague presenter Mr. Nevergreen, Project Engineer. But our salutations extend to the Miss Murray Bennett, representing for the Rural Water Supply Limited. I see members of the Ministry of Water, Environment and Climate Change. Come on, give us a wave or give us a signal that you're all here. I see Dr. Sharon Morrison, Director General, and of course a whole host of dignitaries from the Santa Cruz and St. Elizabeth Parish. But you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to include Wellesley Gunter Prep School. Come on, give me a clap, give me a wave. Yes, I see them. And their teachers are with us. I also see students from the Stets School, Stets High School. No, the gentlemen, them have a wave harder than that. So these guys, you guys are the footballers from across there? I'll tell you guys a little story when Rusty's used to come up here and we don't always go down with the win. You understand? I say we because we don't kind of brand me now, but we don't understand the assignment. Big up to the Stets team, but to the ladies and the residents from all around this environs near Santa Cruz Town Center. Good morning, and to members of the media, good morning to you. Thank you for coming. The pleasure is mine to, as I get this program rolling, to ask Mr. Jermaine Jackson to come with what will be the welcome remarks, which will kind of delve further into the NWC's commitment to this project. Please give him a round of applause.
Good morning, Mr. Moderator. Good morning, everyone. It is indeed a pleasure and a privilege to welcome you all to this important occasion as we gather for the commissioning of this new pipeline. It is a significant milestone. In our effort to improve the water supply and reliability system of the greater Santa Cruz system. But first, I just want to extend a warm welcome to our special guest, to the Honorable Matthew Samuda, Minister of Water, Environment and Climate Change. Welcome, sir. To the Mayor Solomon, also welcome. And to the MP who just stepped in, Ms. Jess, also a very welcome. In terms of, when I looked up, I saw that she just came in. And to Councillor Williams, who would have worked with us closely in terms of all the issues within Santa Cruz, welcome, sir. We are also welcoming outside of the parish in terms of Kingston, our sister agency, Rural Water Supply. Also, we have in the midst customers, residents, students. Good morning. This new pipeline represents more than just an infrastructure upgrade. It is a tangible investment in terms of health, well-being, economic resilience of the people of Santa Cruz. By enhancing the integrity of our transmission system and improving water quality, we are not only addressing long-standing challenges, but also positioning this community for future growth and development. At the National Water Commission, we recognize that the reliable access to safe, potable water is fundamental. This project reflects our commitment to modernizing our systems, reducing losses, and delivering a consistent supply. I wish to commend the technical team from the NWC and also from the Rural Water Supply Limited. They worked diligently in terms of bringing this project to completion, and we hope that the 5 months that we envision for this project to last, that we will complete on time or before the duration of the 5 months. But I am saying, once we strengthen our infrastructure, improving our efficiency is paramount and will result from all of this work to start. We also ensure that the benefits of these investments will also be felt by not just the existing customers, but those who would have been disconnected based on the age infrastructure over the years, and also persons who sit waiting 4 years. Pretty much we call them the potential customers. It will be a reality within the next 6 months. Once again, I thank you all for being here, and I look forward for the continued support of this project from the community, all the agency stakeholders. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sir Jackson. All right, so allow me to just make a quick change. We're gonna ask His Worship the Mayor to come now and to bring his greetings. Please make him welcome.
Today is a good day. Let us give thanks for life. Amen? Amen. Mr. Moderator, Mr. Delano Williams, who is the Corporate Public Relations Manager at National Water Commission. Honorable Matthew Samuda, MP, Minister of Water, Environment and Climate Change. You are in the parish quite a lot, Minister, and every time you come to the parish, you bring smile to the people of St. Elizabeth. It may give up the minister, no man. Sure. Our Member of Parliament for Northeast St. Elizabeth, lovely Miss Julika Jess. I also want to acknowledge Councillor for the Santa Cruz Division, Councillor Christopher Williams, my own council colleague. Regional Manager for St. Elizabeth and Manchester, Mr. Jermaine Jackson, and other representatives of the National Water Commission, other representatives of government agencies, community leaders, members of the media, residents of Santa Cruz and neighboring community, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, pleasant morning. Are we still in the morning session? No, we're a bit late. We're still morning. Pleasant morning. It gives me great pleasure to bring greetings to you on behalf of the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation. It is indeed a warm day, literally a warm day, so I bring warm greetings to you here in the hot, hot town of Santa Cruz. And you see, wherever it's heat, water is needed. Now, this groundbreaking ceremony for Santa Cruz Bypass main replacement project is a very vital project. This occasion marks the beginning of an important investment in the future of Santa Cruz and the wider parish of St. Elizabeth. On behalf of the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation, I want to extend sincere appreciation to Honorable Minister Samuda and the current government, the National Water Commission, and all stakeholders whose vision, planning, and commitment who have made this project a reality. I think they deserve a big round of applause. Please allow me to acknowledge former Member of Parliament Delroy Slowly for his strong representation in making this project a reality, and I'm sure that it will continue under our new representative. Water remains one of the most essential resources for human development. Every household, business, school, health facility, and agricultural enterprise depend on a reliable supply of clean water. As a parish known for agriculture, productivity, and entrepreneurial spirit, St. Elizabeth understands the importance of infrastructure that supports sustainable growth and development. Today's groundbreaking ceremony represents much more than replacement of water main. It symbolizes progress, resilience, and our collective commitment to improving the quality of life for the people we serve. The upgrading of this critical infrastructure will strengthen the water distribution network, improve service reliability, reduce disruptions, and better position the community to meet growing demand in years ahead. Santa Cruz continues to serve as one of the major commercial and service centers within our parish. Every day, residents from across St. Elizabeth and neighboring areas travel here to conduct businesses, access services, attend schools, and engage in commerce. As the town continues to grow and develop, it is essential that the supporting infrastructure keep pace with that growth. This project demonstrates a proactive approach to ensuring that our water system remain efficient, dependable, and capable of meeting future needs. We recognize that infrastructure development is one of the foundations of national progress. Investment such as this not only improve service delivery, but also contribute to economic activity, create employment opportunities, and foster confidence in the future of our communities. They remind us that development is not merely about buildings and pipes. It's about people and creating the conditions for communities to strive. I therefore commend the National Water Commission, the engineers, the project managers, contractors, technical personnel, and all partners involved in bringing this initiative to fruition. Your dedication and professionalism are helping to build a stronger and more resilient St. Elizabeth. As work progresses, I encourage and continued engagement with residents and stakeholders to ensure that the implementation of this process is smooth and that the benefits of this project are fully realized. Successful development is always strengthened when communities remain informed, involved, and supportive. Ladies and gentlemen, today we celebrate the start of an undertaking that will serve generations to come. It is another step forward in our mission to improve infrastructure, enhance service delivery, and create better opportunity for the citizens of St. Elizabeth. On behalf of the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation and citizens we represent, I congratulate the Minister for this initiative and the National Water Commission and all partners involved in this important project. We look forward to its success, completion, and to many benefits it will bring to Santa Cruz and surrounding communities. May God continue to bless this project, the wonderful people of St. Elizabeth, and our beloved Jamaica. God bless you. One love, one Jamaica.
Come on, put your hands together one more time for his worship. Very kind, very strong words. Not true? Yes, ma'am. We've been talking, so there are some words I'm hoping you've kind of grasped. You hear something about pipeline, not true? And you hear something about Santa Cruz. Anybody here where in Santa Cruz the work is going to be? Since you come under the tent, have you heard? So you need to know, not true? Yes. So I'm going to invite Mr. Never Green. He is a project engineer and he's coming in yellow like a ray of sunshine. Mr. Green, I believe the contractors are also here, right? Please make mention of that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, everyone. I think it's still morning hours. Mr. Chairman, please allow me to stand on the protocols that have already been established. I must say, though, special welcome to Minister Samauda and MP Jez. Despite welcome to St. Elizabeth, and MP Jez is going to say she is in St. Elizabeth, but I'm still saying welcome. Welcome. Today, therefore, the National Water Commission continue to improve on the various projects island-wide, and the Santa Cruz water supply is no different. So the project we speak about here is the Santa Cruz Bypass Main Replacement, Distribution and Pipeline. And this involved the construction of approximately 3 kilometers of 150 millimeter 6-inch nominal diameter distribution pipeline. Also included is approximately 1 kilometer of road reinstatement. This road reinstatement, some areas where we'll be running the pipeline, the road has been badly damaged and will be damaged even more during construction, so we will pave the entire width of the subsections of the roadway upon completion of this project. So the pipeline will take place, the construction from the intersection of Main Street and Wanstead Road, those who know formerly Bashko, and right along the Santa Cruz bypass, and it will terminate behind us, the intersection of Main Street and Sidney Pagan Drive. Also included is Brigade Street from Fire Station up to the stoplight and the entire Market Street. So that will constitute the 3 kilometers. Our goals and success criteria includes a significant reduction in the non-revenue water and the reduction in leak repairs. This is as a result of the old or aged 3-inch pipeline, which was laid over 50 years ago, continued to deteriorate. We often had breakage, a lot of leak repairs, and so this pipeline will replace and minimize our non-revenue water and our leak repairs also. Two of the key deliverables are, we are expecting at the end of the project that over 200 customers will see, or maybe over 1,000 persons will see an improvement in their water supply, a more consistent flow through their pipes of the precious potable water. And also, more potable water will become available for our new customers. The timeline for the project, the Chins Equipment Rentals and Construction Company is charged with the responsibility to execute these works. The National Water Commission gave them the instruction to mobilize with the effective date, June 1st, 2026. Period of performance is 5 months, and so we're expecting that by the end of November, this project will be completed, probably before, and the pipeline will be commissioned into service. The budget, contract sum, just under 128 million Jamaican dollars, or if you want me to be specific, 127.9 million Jamaican dollars. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right, I think we've gotten some more bearings. So let me see if you've been paying attention in the class. Where is the project going to be, on this road or that road? Where's the left? Oh, to the right. And he mentioned some monies. How much money? Yes, master, the money big, bad, but part of it is the road reinstatement, right? I heard claps when he said we're going to fully reinstate up to 1 kilometer of the roadway. That's a big deal, not true? Right. And I want you to understand that in order to get to this thing, we have to dig. Like, water is one of the few utilities that is always underground. So to get to or to install pipes, you always have to dig to get it up or to install the pipes, all right? So it's very necessary work, but it's work that will add value to your homes and to your businesses. He mentioned something about NRW, or non-revenue water. Anybody knows what that means? All right, quick class. Quick class for Wellesley, Gunter, and Stex, right? So non-revenue water means that we pump the water from Southampton or from Content, but it does not get to your homes or to your businesses. Some of it leaks out, and some of it is stolen by persons who are not registered to access water. It's true. So more than, and then, so imagine Mr. Jackson and his team pump 10 gallons of water from down in Content, and they thief out 4 and 3 leak. How much you get? Only 3, not true? So So that's non-revenue water. It means that Mr. Jackson had to pay a light bill for the water. He had to pay the teams to go and to treat the water, clear the well area. They had to build an area for the pump. They had to put in a pump, which costs money. And after all of that, he doesn't get any for it. So it's a non-revenue item for him. He's not getting any revenue from it. It's like you have a little shop and you give somebody in good faith and then don't pay you for it. So that's why so it's non-revenue, it's not a revenue for us. So we treat what we can in terms of we take care of the leaks. And then you and I will talk about those who, and the police also will get into the discussion about those who access the water and don't wish to pay for it. Is that right? But the ones we can take care of with this project will be to replace the 3-inch pipeline that was there from Wapi kill Philip about 50 years ago. Him say not true. So maybe from when Wapi and Philip did have them disagreement. And as a result, we're losing a lot of water on that 3-inch. So we're going to put in a bigger main. What size him say? 6-inch. And so that's twice the carrying capacity. And it's a newer pipe. I think he used some big words, but what I heard was ductile iron. What's the lifetime for that, Mr. Jackson and Mr. Green? Yeah, between 30 and 40 years, depending on the underground conditions. So we have pipes that will last us for a generation and a half. All right, put your hands together one more time for what sounds like a very good project. I'm going to ask Madam MP to come now, Member of Parliament for St. Elizabeth Northeastern, Ms. Zulika Jess.
Minister Samudo, I warmly welcome you to the constituency of Northeastern St. Elizabeth, and particularly to Santa Cruz. To His Worship, the Mayor, it isn't often that we agree, but as it relates to the betterment of the parish, we certainly do. And I share your concerns about the state of our preparedness as it relates to the incoming, or well, the now hurricane season. I share your concerns. To Mr. Jackson and the entire executive team from the National Water Commission, I wish to thank you for your patience. One of the very first entities and state agencies that I met with when I just became the Member of Parliament was actually the National Water Commission. And that was by choice and not by chance. It was by choice because water is an extremely integral factor, particularly for us right here in the breadbasket parish of St. Elizabeth. I envision a St. Elizabeth, and particularly a northeastern St. Elizabeth, where our water woes are a thing of the past. And so I am delighted this afternoon to see that we're in a position where we can have a groundbreaking ceremony of this nature. To Mr. Green, who regrettably, unfortunately, welcomed me to my own home, I simply wish to remind Mr. Green that I actually live here and that I will be here for a long, long, long time. I shall not be moved. Of course, to my beautiful family right here in Northeastern St. Elizabeth, who make sure I don't ever walk alone, thank you for your love and your constant support. So to say that I am thrilled this morning or this afternoon is an understatement. Today we are not just breaking ground for new infrastructure, we are burying the days of dry pipes and inconsistent water supply. Access to clean, reliable water is a basic human right. And this upgrade is a direct response to your needs. I want to commend the National Water Commission and the workers who will bring this project to life. I want to thank Chintz Equipment for their stellar performance, because I am very certain that at the end of these 5 months, we will be having water in our pipes in Santa Cruz. But I touched on the fact that having water is a basic human right, and that brings me to why I was a bit delayed in my arrival today. I was delayed in getting here because I had to be preparing a press release, because yesterday on the floor of Parliament, the Minister of Justice made mention that there are no human rights issues here in Jamaica. Now, for a country that is experiencing 11 brutal police fatalities in 24 hours, and to have a Minister of Justice state that there is no human rights issue, we find that to be almost delusional on the part of the Minister of Justice. We believe that it represents an alarming display of delusion. We believe that it represents an insult to the countless number of Jamaicans who are begging and crying out for justice for loved ones that they have lost under questionable circumstances. And it is a dismissal of the lived realities that so many people here in Jamaica continue to face. We urge the Minister to reconsider his utterances and to retract those statements and to align his views with the realities on the ground. And the reality is that the people of Jamaica need justice, and we need a government that doesn't turn a blind eye to the realities on the ground. But today is not the day for human rights issues. Today is the day when we celebrate what I believe is the dawn of a new day, courtesy of Minister Samuda. And yes, I am buttering up the Minister because I have great hopes that the Minister will accommodate our request for improvement of the water supply in Union Balaclava, so that the people in Bold, in Airhouse, and by extension the wider Balaclava communities can get access to water. And I see the face below, so I know that I have to say that by extension Grace River will get water once it is that the pumps are properly upgraded in Union, or rather in Bold. And so I continue as your strident member of Parliament to lobby, to advocate, and to plead on your behalf, because water is life. And I know that my people in northeastern St. Elizabeth deserve a good life. Thank you.
Thank you, MP. Thank you very much. All right, so we have 2 more items to go. At this time, we're going to welcome to the platform the Wellesley Gunter Prep School. They will be doing an item. Please put your hands together for the youngsters.
Today we'll be representing the Wellesley Gunter Preparatory School.
Sometimes it takes up to trust and believe. All right. Put your hands together one more time for a lovely group of young ladies and the rendition, Trusting and Believing. At this time, I trust, I do believe I see on my program the next item that says keynote address. Yes. And so we invite Minister Matthew Samuda to come and to do a presentation, as he always does, on the matters that are near and dear to us. Some people that wear this brand shirt normally says, water is. And so, sir, we invite you now, sir, as we put our hands together for him to come and to speak on this very critical project.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremonies. I'm going to ask you to join me in putting your hands together again for those lovely young ladies. It will be a very hard act to follow. Allow me to acknowledge your Member of Parliament, Mrs. Zulika Jess, indeed His Worship the Mayor, Richard Solomon, of course Councillor Christopher Williams. I believe I would have seen earlier former Member of Parliament Colonel Spencer and former Member of Parliament J.C. Hutchinson who were here earlier, so it tells you just the level of importance that people attach to this project, and indeed we're happy for you to host us today. Allow me to acknowledge senior members of staff of the Ministry of Water, Environment and Climate Change. I see Director General, who has journeyed with us I think almost every week in recent times to different parts of the country. Of course, members of the Water Policy team. I welcome Ms. Muriel Bennett from the Rural Water team, and I see a strange face beside her who we will speak about in a few minutes. And it's just good to be back in St. Elizabeth. Much of what is taking place now is projects that in many ways you'd have wished would have started a long time ago. But I recall one of my very first tours with CTD of the Ministry of Economic Growth and Infrastructure Development when I was given oversight of the water portfolio. I was actually in St. Elizabeth. And I can tell you that when you go anywhere in St. Elizabeth with people like CTD Watson, or certainly like member of the board from Nicole Banks, you get forced into making commitments sometimes that you're not quite sure how you're going to get it done, but you're not given the room to leave without committing that you will figure it out for the people of St. Elizabeth. So for me today is a major milestone in what we call the project life cycle. You see, a commitment can be made 3 years ago, and it has to go through the engineering, it has to go through the PIAD process at the Ministry of Finance, it then has to go to procurement. Upon procurement being complete, it has to go to the PPC. Because of the size of the project, it has to go to cabinet, and then it comes eventually to you. So this is a major milestone in the project life cycle for a project that matters to the future of Santa Cruz. Yes, $120+ million will be paid to the contractor, but I also wanted to know that $25+ million of pipes are being provided by the National Water Commission. So with that investment, we're spending just under $150 million in your water supply, and we have made the commitment. We're now at the point of implementation, and I want to assure you that the contractors will ensure MB that we have a Merry Christmas in the area and that the project is indeed complete. It's important to note the project cycle, and there's a reason I've introduced that concept this morning, because especially as today shows in many ways the vibrancy of our democracy. I was expecting to see, jerseys from France, Brazil, Spain, but I do note the other two sets of jerseys that are here, and I think it is good for the democracy and shows the vibrancy of the political culture in St. Elizabeth. So I think it is indeed good. But it is important to understand the project side. This area benefited from pipe laying in the 1970s from former Member of Parliament Sidney Pega. So these pipes are over 50 years old. They're not meant to last you 50 years in that manner. They simply are past what they would call their useful life. And if we're to really evaluate the investment that has been made in the water sector over that 50-year period, I think it would be impatient of debate that it has been inadequate to the needs of the water sector and indeed for the population of Jamaica. In essence, our capital replacement ratio has been way below what is required for the smooth running of a utility. 50 years is too long for replacement of pipes. What ideally you'd like to happen is to have a schedule of maintenance work and a schedule of upgrade work, so that when I lay pipes here today, at year 20 we should start the engineering process, so that at year 25 you're already laying new pipes again to replace these pipes before you get to the 30-year mark, and that you start to have the particular challenges that you have. But because of the fiscal constraints that we had first as a country, and certainly with the utility, we've never been able to approach our maintenance work in that manner. And it's not because the hard-working men and women of NWC don't know that that's where they want to go. They simply haven't had the investment that is required to drive this process. So I think it's also important to say, well, where are we now relative to where we were 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 50 years ago? 10 years ago, the country was only able to invest a little over $1 billion a year in its water sector. That is completely inadequate to drive infrastructure development and to drive the improvements that you need in water distribution. Today, we are happy that this year we will be investing some $15 billion across varying projects in the water sector. So we have moved by a multiple of 15 in terms of the size of investment that we're now able to make on an annual basis. And that is something that this government is indeed proud of. But it does prompt a discussion that has to happen, and I'm happy to have representatives of both sides of the political aisle as we have this discussion, because that is still a fraction of what is ultimately required to achieve the capital replacement ratio that you need, or to achieve your distribution ambitions, because many communities that exist now didn't exist 50 years ago. So that needs to be understood. 3 years ago, before he departed to the IMF, myself and Minister Clark engaged the World Bank water sector expert team to do an analysis. For the simple reason that oftentimes if I say it, somebody says, boy, I'm not so sure if I should take Matthew Samuga's word for it, or if my counterpart in the opposition says it, you know, some people say, well, I shouldn't listen to that part. So we said, let's get a dispassionate, independent view of really exactly where our water sector is and isn't. And we asked them to look at water for homes and business, being potable water, what we needed for irrigation, and what we needed to manage our wastewater. Their assessment of what we require to achieve our water ambitions is $5 billion US. That is 800 billion Jamaican dollars. So when we're investing 15 this year, you understand that there's still a significant gap in what is required on an annual basis to truly achieve our water ambitions. I could absorb in the water sector annually multiples of the total capital budget of the country. So money that is there to build classrooms, money that is there to fix health centers, money that is there to the roads. The water sector could take all of it to achieve its water ambitions for 2030. So we're clear we have grown our program of work 15-fold. And we're proud of that, because literally you're doing 15 times more work than you were 10 years ago. But we're also clear that where I start today, I have to ensure that in 5 years from now, I am doing 10 times as much work as we're doing today if we're to achieve what we have set out in Vision 2030 as potable water for all Jamaicans. So I stand here today proud of the work that we have done, but fully cognizant and being totally open and honest with you here, that we have to work together to achieve a rate of project deployment that is 10 times greater than what we currently do to achieve our water ambitions. And I think that's important to understand, because in a very active political environment, a strong democracy as Jamaica is, we do have more oversight than sometimes we give ourselves credit for. And I do think it is important to understand and look at reports and look at audits and understand where your public bodies are and where they're performing and where there are gaps. The first point I would like to bring to your attention is a report that would have been brought to the public's attention by the Independent Fiscal Commissioner. The Independent Fiscal Commissioner is a part of what I call the post-IMF environment in Jamaica. It is a creation that replaced EPOC. EPOC was the private sector's oversight of our fiscal restructuring started by Dr. Phillips in 2013. The Fiscal Commissioner is now a part of the government structure, but as the name says, it's independent. So he simply gives you the numbers as they are. And he reported that several entities were having challenges in spending their capital budget. And sometimes because of the way our calendar falls, being our budget year falls, you table the public bodies' estimates of expenditure in February prior to the end of the fiscal year. So what you see there are unaudited estimates of where you're likely to end up. But beyond that, they have very strict standards in accounting that I think need to be explained, just so that you have context. Because it was said that NWC did not achieve its capital budget, and we said, well, if we need pipes, why are you having a challenge? And I think it needs to be understood that last year, being last fiscal year, the government and NWC was able to spend 94% of its capital budget. Now, there is a $2.7 billion point of discussion. I won't call it a discrepancy. In our accounting standards, money that I pay to a contractor like Chin's Construction for mobilization is not what you call capitalized until the work has reached a particular milestone. So it doesn't mean that we weren't able to get the contract started, get the works done, pay the initial fees, but you don't capitalize it in our standards of accounting until it is done. But the money was indeed spent and the work is underway. So for instance, we have a project which is called the Western Resilience Water Project, which is building and laying pipes from Trelawney all the way to West End in Nicoll. $2.7 billion of that sum was paid in mobilization costs for the contractor to be able to set up site office, to lease place to hold the pipes, to hold equipment, to start to hire staff. And I'm happy to report that that project is now in construction. So that money was spent, the money is on program, the project is on track in line with our land chart. So I think the public needs to understand that yes, the money was spent, but an accounting standard changes how you view the actual capitalization of that fund. So we spent 94%. The final 6% was indeed paid in April. So we were 2 weeks late and we accept the 2-week hit. And that is purely because of delays related to Hurricane Melissa. So I want to assure members of the public that the National Water Commission and certainly the Ministry is very focused on delivering against its capital program. A capital program that is 15 times larger than it previously was. So we are very happy with where we are, but we think that clarity needed to be provided. There's another point that I think has to be clearly stated. I don't have any challenges with audits. They're an important management tool. When you're in the public sector, an audit is weaponized politically. When you're in the private sector, the boards are happy to get it so that they can then implement what they need to do to make their company more profitable. And I get it, we're in the public space and we're in an active political environment. But at the ministry, which is now 7 months old, I believe we were formed on September 18th, the very first position that my ministry advertised to hire new staff was indeed for our internal auditor positions to be filled. For the simple reason that we actually embrace audits, because we need to know what is happening within central ministry, within our departments and within our agencies to be able to put in stronger management controls. Now, a few points from the most recent audit I think need to be understood, and I won't dive into them too deeply. First of all, it's a performance audit, not a financial audit, and nothing in the audit alleges any malfeasance, any issues of corruption. It is an audit that simply says there are some management controls that the Water Commission should move to put in as a matter of urgency. And I do want to assure all of you here today and all of you who are listening that we have taken the results of said audit very seriously, and we have made a commitment to implement against optimal accounting standards to ensure that our reporting is indeed up to date. We look forward to another one for the simple reason that much of what was published in the audit we have already started to implement, and in fact some of the recommendations have already been implemented because there is delay between when an audit is completed and when it is actually published. So we are happy to report that some of the items have already been implemented and we continue to focus on it. But in closing, water is the foundation of development. You have to say that the road to development is a road, and that is true. But the foundation below that road is indeed the water pipes that distribute water to your homes. Jamaica, in a bipartisan manner, set a goal for 2030, in its own vision 2030, that we would give potable water to all Jamaicans by that time. We signed on to the UN SDGs and said we would give potable water to all Jamaicans by 2030. We have a lot of work to do and we don't have a lot of time in which to do it. So I thank you for your patience. I do ask you to carry this message that yes, if I have made a commitment to your community, we may not have gotten there yet, but we definitely are indeed coming. And I look forward to joining you in cool November as we turn on the pipes in Santa Cruz. God bless.
Extend our greeting and salutation to Councillor Audley Myers from the Silo Division. Welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us. And the other one, which is the final bit of activity for me here, is to ask Councillor Christopher Williams to come and to extend the formal vote of thanks. Please make him welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Master of Ceremony. I'm seeking your permission to acknowledge, recognize the protocols that were observed earlier, because every speaker that came, they mentioned all the dignitaries that are here. So can I go ahead and, okay, thank you very much. But I will definitely use the opportunity though to welcome our Honourable Minister, Honourable Matu Samuda. Welcome back to St. Elizabeth. We are always happy to have you here. On behalf of the people of the Santa Cruz Division and all stakeholders present, I am honored for the opportunity to say thank you. First, to the Honourable Matu Samuda, Minister of Water, Environment and Climate Change. Minister, your presence here today signals the government's commitment to fixing our water challenges. Thank you for your leadership and for being our keynote speaker. We listened to you and we are very proud of what are the future plans for St. Elizabeth and for Jamaica. To our Member of Parliament, Zulika Jess, thank you for being present and bringing greetings. To His Worship, the Mayor, Councillor Richard Solomon, and the St. Elizabeth Municipal Corporation, thank you for your partnership. Water security affects every household, and your support helps move these projects forward. To the National Water Commission, especially Mr. Jermaine Jackson and Mr. Neville Green, thank you. We know this main replacement has been long awaited. the Santa Cruz Bypass project will improve reliability and delivery. We appreciate the technical work your teams are putting in. To the contractors, engineers, and all technical staff who will be executing this project, we thank you in advance. We ask that you work efficiently, safely, and with community in mind. To the residents of Santa Cruz, thank you for your patience. This project is for you, and the end result will be worth it. Thanks to the lovely students of Wellesley Gunter Prep for their lovely performance. Beautiful rendition. I must also use the opportunity to thank our former Member of Parliament, Delroy Slowly, for his advocacy. We are very grateful for that. Finally, to the media, the police, and everyone gathered here today, thank you for witnessing this important step. Clean, consistent water is not a luxury, it is a necessity. This groundbreaking is more than pipes in the ground. It is investment in health, in development, and the future of Santa Cruz. Thank you all, and may God continue to bless us.